Hello everybody, my name is Lisa Felser and this is my friend Lotus.
Hello.
And Lotus is here to help me teach you how to teach steps 13 and 14 in the lesson plan. That would be controlled reading and the review part. Both are very important. So what you'll need for this part of the lesson is, again, your lesson plan filled out and your book that you're going to use for your controlled reading, and then some review words, either index cards or part of your rapid word sheet or something like that. You figure out what book you're supposed to read. It comes from the bottom of this page. We've introduced QU today, for instance, so after we've introduced QU, then we will read this book listed at the bottom. It's entitled The Alphabet Series, Volume 1, Did Max Quit? You have all the books that are associated with this curriculum. So here's the book that the Recipe for Reading book references. If by chance there's not a book associated with that particular concept, there are more books that you have access to on the Google Drive. So we are going to read Did Max Quit? When you open up this book, you will know in the very back page there are some off-sequence words. If you haven't gone over them or your student doesn't know them, and you should at this point have a pretty good idea what words they know and they don't know, then when you encounter those words in the book, if they don't know them immediately, you just read them. It's not time for teaching that concept. That'll come later. It's important to work with these books only because you know that all the concepts in this book, they should have mastered by this point. At least they're familiar with them. If you use some off-sequence book or just any old book, then there's going to be lots of concepts in it that they haven't seen before, and that can be an exercise in frustration. This helps reinforce the concept you just taught, and it also helps build their confidence in reading. So if you run out of time, then you can buddy read with your student. Just make sure they get some reading practice in. They read one page, you read the other. And again, if you come into some of these off-sequence words, like the sentence on this page is, he got up late. At this point, you haven't introduced magic E, so you will want to just tell her what that word is. There's a chance that they might know it, and if they read it, great. If they don't, then you just throw it out there. Don't make them struggle over concepts you haven't taught them yet. And then, after you read the book, make sure that you ask them the comprehension questions in the back. If there aren't any, then you can come up with some. While they're reading the book, make sure they're pointing at the words. Make sure you're talking about what the punctuation means and demonstrating good fluency. If they're really struggling over the sentence, have them read it a second time, or you read it for them to demonstrate fluency. You'll know as they're reading whether they're really understanding what they're reading or not. And you can ask questions as you move through the book. Try not to let them rely on the pictures too much and just really pay attention to the words in the book. And then after you're done with the reading portion, then you're going to just do a short review. In this case, we worked on what concept, Lotus?
QU.
Yes, ma'am. What does QU say?
Qua.
Qua for queen. And that's our key word, right? If you couldn't remember what QU says, can you show me the hand sign that we did?
Queen.
Very nice, very nice. And why are Q and U always together?
Because they're married.
That's right. That's right. So just read a few words, just the ones on the bottom, just to review. These we introduced you to these words before.
Quit, quiz, quit, quag, quid.
Excellent job. Excellent. That concludes this part of the lesson. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at lisa@yorkcountyreads.com. Thank you for helping readers grow.